everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith. Today I'm super excited to be unboxing Scythe, Rise of Fenris. This one is really exciting for me because I just actually recently wrapped up a Scythe showcase showing you guys how to play with the Automa deck. And of course, I've gathered every single Scythe expansion to date. I'm even waiting on the collector's box myself so I can get all of it into one gigantic box. It is one of my favorite games to play with others as well as solo. It just plays so well and scales so well across the player counts. This edition is huge. This is one of the most important or coolest additions to the Scythe universe in terms of its gameplay mechanics, and also it has its own legacy campaign aspects built into this thing. So the first thing I want to mention is it's an 8-episode campaign expansion. The biggest thing to note here with this unboxing is there may be spoilers. Now what I'm going to do is I am not going to crack into specific boxes that appear part of content that may be legacy or unlockable content. But if there's potentially any type of new factions within this expansion, then I'll take a look at those. So just to let you guys know that this will have some spoilers potentially as I kind of fumble my way through this, but you can know that when I see a box that's labeled a specific way that looks as if it needs to be opened based on campaign play, I will not be opening that during this video. So it'll have a spoiler warning attached to it, but it may not have any spoilers. That's kind of the way I'm going into this. So we'll be keeping my hands away from stuff that I know or appears like it should be unlocked during the campaign. But again, Scythe, Rise of Fenris, the artwork in this game is incredible, as you can see from the front of the box. It's always awesome. I could stare at some of this stuff forever. It follows along with all the art style that we're familiar with from all the different Scythe expansions. Every side of this box has unique artwork, which just adds to how amazing the game looks. Of course, if it's on your shelf, you pick whatever side you want. It looks great. Flipping this over on the back side, we've got a whole section here of some text that I want to read to you guys. So again, it says right here, this is an expansion and Scythe is required to play it. Scythe, the Rise of Fenris, designed by Jamey, Stegmaier, and Ryan, based on the characters and the world of 1920. Created by Jacob Rosalski, if I'm saying that correctly. Empires have risen and fallen in the aftermath of the Great War, and Europa stands on the precipice of a new era. The economy is robust, morale is high, and defenses are strong. There are reports from the countryside of strange soldiers with glowing eyes, but they seem distant and harmless. Scythe, the Rise of Fenris, the conclusion to the Scythe expansion trilogy, enables 2 different options for any player counts. That includes 1 player all the way up to 5 player if you have Scythe, and 1 player up to 7 players if you have Invaders from Afar, which I do. Campaign mode is one of the major new additions to this particular expansion. And what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to zoom in so you guys can see some of the wonderful text that I'm reading now. So this particular section here says, Campaign, 8 games. The story of Scythe continues and concludes with an 8-episode campaign. While the campaign includes surprises, unlocks, and persistent elements, it is fully resettable and replayable. This is one of the coolest factors of this thing, is that it's going to have some unlocks, some legacy mechanics, some things that are going to change the way maybe the Scythe looks and feels, but everything's resettable, and that's one of the best aspects of this, is that you can kind of bring this back and go again type thing. And so that replayability is really going to be jumping up there. The next thing is it's modular. There's 11 modules, which is a crazy amount when you think about the prior expansions for Scythe that allowed for a couple new modules per extra expansion. 11 is a ton of different options. So instead of or after the campaign, the new modules in the Rise of Fenris can be used in various combinations to cater to player preferences. So if you potentially have a certain aspect of the game's side that you never really enjoyed or you wanted to see played differently, some of these modules may really change that to make it work for your particular game group, or if you're playing solo, which is the focus of this video. They are fully compatible with all Scythe expansions, and they include a fully cooperative module. So while the exact nature of the episodes and modules will remain a mystery, most of these components are in 5 secret tuck boxes and on 6 punch boards. The components in this expansion include a detailed episodic guidebook, 13 plastic miniatures, 62 wooden tokens, 2 custom dice. That's right, there's some dice entering into the fray here. 25 tiles and over 100 cardboard tokens. That's insanity. So without further ado, how about we crack into the Rise of Fenris and see what this thing is all about. Now, remember, from this point forward, it's up to you. Do you want to see any more or not? This is the point to jump out if you do not want to see anything inside the box, because this may, at this point, start spoiling some of the content. But remember, those tuck boxes that they mentioned here, I will not be opening those. So worst case scenario, you just see the tuck boxes themselves. So we're going to go ahead and cut into this. I've been dying. This one, again, was another release at Gen Con, but I actually didn't pick this up at Gen Con because, again, I was flying, and some of these boxes I wanted to make sure that they arrived home in one piece. So I picked this up from my local game store when I got back home. So this should be exciting because Scythe is something that I play regularly with my Monday night group, and I love playing this solo as well. So this is one of those games that's going to be in my collection forever. I will never let this thing go. So here we go. Let's crack into Scythe, the Rise of Fenris. I'll take the box off here. Oh, I've been waiting to do this for a while. There we go. Okay, so the very first thing you're going to see inside the box, you got 2 dice that are basically sitting in that. Those guys are going to stick out so much because, first off, there hasn't been any dice inside yet. So these are pretty cool. They're inside of a tight plastic bag here. I don't know if you guys can see those very well. I'm going to actually rip this bag open so you guys can see them closer up. Again, I have no idea what they mean or what impact they have on the gameplay. There's 2 different ones. They have the same symbols on them, but they're different colors, the die itself and also the icons. So that's interesting. I don't know what they technically do. We'll find out soon. We've got the Rise of Fenris. Is this the campaign book, I guess? I guess that would be. So I'm just going to take this off screen for a second here and just see what it says here. So these are pretty safe. Okay, this is perfect. So take a look at this. So this is the very front of it here. It says Modular Expansion, Campaign Expansion. It says right here, how to avoid spoilers. So if you choose to play the campaign, do not open, look under, or look through any of the tuck boxes or punch boards. You can instead perform a component check by ensuring all tuck boxes and punch boards are present. If any are missing, please submit a request. So that's kind of how to avoid spoilers. So really it's all about, don't go through everything. Let me see, I looked under any of the tuck boxes. Yeah, so basically it's kind of like, don't go through anything if you don't want to spoil anything, pretty much. So again, I don't want to go too far into this book even, because it gets into spoiler areas right away here. But I quickly want to show you guys, because this is important for solo play, there's a whole general Automa rules page here that you can see at Automa. So this is going to be the one that's going to be the most important for solo players. And you've got like a captain log over here, things like that. So I think, yeah, then you get into like you get into a bunch of stuff that's going to happen here. So this is going to get into major spoilers and stuff like that because you're getting into a campaign booklet. I do not want to spoil this game, so I'm going to flip all the way to the back. You've got modular rules, and this book actually ends on the 51st page, including the back cover. So that's how big this is. So it's a fairly thick book. There's a lot of content in there, so that's pretty cool. And you've got an achievement sheet here like you do with regular Scythe, so that's pretty awesome. I love tracking those. And it's on front and back, of course, as per normal, so that's awesome. They always seem to give you tons of bags for token punching and things like that, so that's handy. We've got ourselves, we're getting into stuff that could be potentially spoilerish here for sure. So we've got ourselves faction mats, like this one here, a big pad of them. We've got a whole bunch of punch boards here. So these are going to likely be attributed to the different types of modules would be my guess that you could potentially run into the game. I am not going to show these things up close and personal, just quickly overview of the different things. You can see there's some additional factions. So there are some new factions in the game that is known here. This one, let's see here. That's pretty cool actually. Yeah, because I've labeled this spoilers, this is the two that I'm definitely going to show off because these are really, really cool. Again, this is the tuck box area. I am not opening these up. This, to me, is what they're talking about. They're saying, go ahead and take a look through all the components to this point, but after this, don't show anything else. I am not going to show any of this tuck box stuff through this particular video because I want you guys to experience what's in these boxes for yourself for the first time. But I will show you the two new factions that come within this game. So we've got this one here. So that's pretty cool. So a brand new faction added in there. And then we've got this faction over here. And you can see, if you didn't notice already, that we've got some interesting situations here because you remember in the prior expansions and editions, you had to buy some of these things separately and things like that. Everything that you need, apparently, for these factions across Invaders from Afar or the Wind Gambit is in here, apparently. So, in other words, like airships will be in here for the two new factions, things like that. And then you've got some other cool tuck boxes, which I am not going to show you guys. But basically, these tuck boxes are they're really nice. I mean, they did a good job on the look and feel of these things. So I'm just going to take one out without opening it. I'm just going to show you. You can see there's letters actually tied to each of them. So this one here is a tuck box, Scythe. So that's really nice all the way around. Does the back have anything? Nope, just a regular icon all the way around. So same thing probably for A. These ones here are actually quite small and don't really show anything that ruins anything from what I can tell here. So again, not opening them because I'm not going to go down that road. But that's it. That is going to be as far as I go with this unboxing because this is the type of game that you want to explore on your own, especially if you're a big fan of Scythe. So hopefully this helped you see what's inside the box without any major spoilers and things like that you're going to have to deal with. But at the same time, I'm still going to label this video as a spoiler video, just so that there's nobody that comes into this thinking that it's possible to show the insides of this game without spoiling something. But I'm super excited because my group is going to want to dive into this, and I'm going to want to dive into this on the Automa front, plus the multiple player front. So that's going to be really cool. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this was useful to show you what's inside the Rise of Fenris. And as always, guys, thank you for your support, and keep on rolling solo.